Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. The laws of Shabbos are many, very detailed, very complex, and it's very important to review especially the relevant things that happens often in a person's home and discuss if it's a Shaila in Hilchos Shabbos. So Baruch Hashem, Hashem has blessed all of us with a home, family, Baruch Hashem, and there are common questions that may come up. Folding tables, undo a folding table, fold a folding table, make a crib on Shabbos, put it together, all these type of issues that sometimes you should stop and think. You know, we know that one of the malachas is boina. Boina means to build, to fix. What is the definition of fixing? And at the same time, if fixing is not allowed, to take it apart in Shabbos would also not be allowed. That would be stira, which a soiser, which is also not allowed to take apart a solid fixture on Shabbos, is a malacha. So I want to talk about what the Achronim speak about a baby crib, a pack and play, these type of things. Are you allowed to put it together on Shabbos? Would it be considered boina? So to introduce this thought, I'll quote what the Alter Rebbe says in Hilchos Shabbos, Siman Shin Yud Gimel, and he speaks about this topic, not about a pack and play, but in Sif Yud Tes, Chaf, and Chaf Aleph, he summarizes a certain halacha. The halacha is Ein binyan ustira bekalim. When you know that when you're taught about the Isser Boina, it's a permanent structure, something solid. But a keli, a vessel which is not done in a solid way, and it's not a permanent thing, it's not it's a keli. So Chazal tell us, the Gemara tells us in Masechah Shabbos, Daf Kuf Chav Beis Amud Beis, Rava holds Ein binyan bekalim ve'ein stira bekalim. Boina and soiser does not apply on a utensil, on a keli. Okay, but that's not that should make it a big exception. All these things that we deal with is 99% of them are kalim, which should be easy to go. So the Alter Rebbe says in Seif Yutes, Loi Amru she'ein binyan ustira bekalim. When does this rule? When are we easy with this rule? And it's not considered fixing a building or demolishing, as long as it's a keli. Elo bebinyan garua or stiras binyan garua. Only if you're putting something together that's not strong. You're not putting something garua means not something bad, not professional. However, kagoin, for example, taking off a door of a vessel or putting it back, because you're putting it back in such a way that's not solid. It's not. You can't call it you built something. But if you're putting it in, however, says the Alter Rebbe, if, however, you're putting it in such a way, you're putting it b'chayzik, you're tightening it in such a way that it's going to last for a very long time, we have a problem. That's not a binyan garua. That is a solid binyan. As he says in Sivchaf, afilu kli shel prakim. Even a keli that's made up by parts. So you could put it together and you could take it apart easily. Im taka pirkov. If he put it together in such a way, shahit kam b'chayzik, you tighten the pieces together very tight. And the way it's done, be'inyan shetzarich lazeh gvura v'umnus, you have to be talented, you have to use might to put these pieces together. Even though it's a keli, harei zeh binyan gamur. That's considered a real binyan, and for all purposes of the malach of boina, as he says, chayav mishum boina im asui lehiskayim harbe. If it's going to last for a long time, and you had to use talent to put this together, that's a malach of boina, even in a keli. If einay asui lehiskayim, even when you put it together this way, it won't last. That's considered a binyan arai. That's a temporary structure, and that's asur midrabanan. So he summarizes again further, and he says, therefore, a keli that's made from put together by parts, the chachamim do not allow you, midivrei seifrim, do not allow you to put it together, even if you don't put it mighty hard together, because it should be a gezeira. If we allow it this way, the next time you're going to do it in a very tight manner, which it would be a problem for sure. So now let's get to our original shaila. Our original shaila is, what is the din of a pack and play? So the Achrayim say that if the pack and play is just chick-chack, you pick it up and it's fine, it's ready to go, then you didn't have to use a chayzik and umnus, a talent. Just you have to have seichel, and it's all put together. That shouldn't be a problem. If, however, the pack and play has to be put together with screws and a screwdriver, that already, if you follow the process of the halacha, as we mentioned before, with a screw and a screwdriver, besides the issue of muktzah of the screwdriver, besides for that, it's a chash baina. All right, so that's how we go to a stroller. How about a stender? A stender is what you have in shul or in your house. The stender has different sizes, different levels. You could have it a little leaning, make it tilting a little more, tilting a little less. Are you allowed to adjust a stender? And a lot of these stenders, you have to unscrew the screw and lift it up or put it down and put it back the screw. So here you have a dilemma. From one hand, it's very flexible, it's very easy. From the other hand, you're using a screw. And when you use a screw, it's something that's going to last unless you take it out. So actually, this is brought in Shailas Teshuvas Shevet HaLevi, that in Chelik Vav Siman Lamed Gimel, he says, you know what? Even though you're using the screw to adjust the levels of the stender, it's allowed to be done on Shabbos. Why? What's the difference between the stender and the pack and play? By the pack and play, it is only basically ready to go or not ready to go. If you didn't put it together, you can't use it. If you put it together with screws, it's going to be able to be used. So that's a structure. Over here, at every level, at any level, you can use it. You can either use it very comfortable in the way you want it, or if it's in the other way, it's still usable. So therefore, because the flexibility that's always usable, it's not considered the act that you are doing now a permanent binyan.